already been paid. In full.
I want everything.
The story kicks off with a pulse-pounding, brutal fight sequence. A rugged man named Chris finds himself locked in deadly combat against a terrifying, bald assassin equipped with a lethal metal hand. At a tense checkpoint in Colombia, a mysterious truck stops. Its nervous driver opens a wooden crate to reveal Chris battered. A rescue turns to betrayal as allies demand payment. Chris acts fast, fends off attackers, subdues them, retrieves his belongings, and walks away, his stoic bearing hinting at a dark past. What begins as a rescue quickly becomes betrayal. His supposed allies turn on him, demanding payment. He acts without hesitation, defending himself against a sudden ambush with brutal precision. The fight shows danger, even from those who seem to help, and his unwavering resolve to defend himself. Chris shows deadly efficiency, subduing attackers, taking his gear, and walking away, his stoic calm hinting at a dark past. The scene shifts to Leonor's grave as he reflects amid rising chaos. At a Lux estate, Vicente greets his daughter Alissa home, unaware their lives cross Chris's. Chris, sorrow on his face, stands before Leonor's tomb. At a grand estate, Vicente, rich and controlling, greets his daughter Alissa home from school. His possessive manner pervades their life. The clash of despair and power sets the stage for a tale of loss and dominance. Dim warehouse, scarred assassin El Cuervo gears up. Precise, violence honed, movements promise bloodshed. Silence masks a storm within, a predator ready to strike. Later in a cafe, he radiates menace, forcing a terrified waitress into a bizarre cake ritual, relishing fear as he orchestrates the macabre scene. A police patrol interrupts the tense moment, guiding the waitress to the squad car. But safety is an illusion. El Cuervo ambushes the vehicle, killing officers and waitress without hesitation. The scene is a grim testament to his ruthlessness, a brutal bloodbath that crushes any escape. The next day, Alissa travels in her chauffeured luxury car. A beggar offers to clean the windshield, but it's Chris in disguise. He launches a brutal assault on her guards, quickly incapacitating them to reach Alissa. This turn sets the stage for unfolding drama and heightened tension. After neutralizing the protection detail, Chris forces a screaming Alissa into the trunk of his car and speeds off. Learning of his daughter's abduction, Vicente erupts in rage, placing a massive bounty on Chris's head. Driving down a secluded road, Chris pulls over, intent on pacifying a thrashing Alissa. Seizing this unexpected chance, she violently bursts from the trunk and sprints headlong into the dense forest. Yet, Chris, relentless and determined, quickly pursues and intercepts her, preventing her escape. Chris attempts to reason with Alissa, presenting a photograph of himself with her mother. He claims he made a solemn vow to protect her, a promise he intends to keep. A defiant Alissa, refusing to yield, holds him at gunpoint, but then realizes he had already emptied the magazine, rendering the weapon harmless. Escape ends as the car runs dry. Alissa cries kidnap. Chris orders the men off, fights them, and takes her back. He reveals he's her father, and Vicente framed him, 15 years in prison. At a roadside cafe, a gang storms in. Chris fights, Alissa is seized. He questions a thug to locate her. Ignoring his warning, the young athletes attack, but Chris's elite skill dismantles the group and secures Alissa. His decisive moves master melee combat, turning aggression into takedowns. With unyielding focus, he protects Alissa with calm, formidable presence, proving professionals outmatch amateurs. Chris binds Alissa's hands and forces her back into the car as she protests. He reveals his motive and drops a shocking truth. He is her real biological father. The revelation, uttered amid their struggle, rewrites what she thought she knew about life and him, shifting their journey. Taking a breather at a roadside diner, Chris explains that Vicente framed him, resulting in 15 years in prison, stealing his freedom and his family. But their conversation is cut short as a heavily armed gang, hunting for the bounty on Chris's head, swarms the restaurant. Chris's survival instincts kick in instantly. He disarms the first attacker and unleashes a flurry of devastating blows, turning the diner into a chaotic battleground as he fiercely fights to keep Alissa safe. Amidst the chaos, Alissa is snatched by the gang. Chris brutally interrogates a surviving thug to track her down. Meanwhile, a captive Alissa manages to use a trafficker's phone to call Vicente for help. Vicente fakes being a loving father on the phone, but his mask slips. An aide leaks Alissa's location to El Cuervo. The assassin heads for the hideout, a relentless predator. This betrayal seals Alissa's fate, pulling her deeper into danger. The assassin moves swiftly toward the hideout. El Cuervo breaches the trafficker's warehouse, turning it into a slaughterhouse as he guns down all in sight and hunts his target. Infiltrating the illicit operation, he makes it a bloody scene of chaos, where every shot is deadly and his cold, calculated pursuit leaves no survivors. Chris arrives, discovering the gruesome aftermath, but he's not alone for long. He comes face to face with El Cuervo, and a brutal, intensely violent hand-to-hand fight erupts, with both incredibly lethal combatants trading punishing, bone-jarring blows. The savage brawl spills out into an alleyway. Chris uses the environment to his advantage, fighting tooth and nail. He finally manages to land a heavy kick, knocking El Cuervo back and buying precious time to escape. This brutal encounter highlights Chris's determination to survive against overwhelming odds. Having barely escaped, Chris and Alissa rest in a quiet spot as the toll shows on their faces. Alissa demands the truth. He reveals a dark past linking him, Vicente, and her mother, betrayal and buried secrets that reshape a life she never knew, and she senses deep deception around her. Chris confesses that they were a notorious bank-robbing crew. During their final job, Vicente betrayed him to the police, stealing his freedom and his family. Alissa struggles to process this life-shattering revelation. Overwhelmed, Alissa runs to a payphone to reach Vicente. Her panic draws El Cuervo as the assassin closes in. Chris arrives, sparking a shootout through the dark streets. Gunfire floods the night. Alissa becomes a target. Chris fights to protect her, turning night into a survival clash. El Cuervo seizes Alissa, using her as a human shield to compel Chris's surrender. After mercilessly beating Chris into submission, the assassin departs, leaving him for Vicente to discover, thus orchestrating the perfect prelude to their ultimate confrontation. The stage is set for a final, decisive showdown. At the plant's grim climax, Vicente stabs El Cuervo. The dying assassin drags Vicente. They fall, ending the threat. Alissa, free from the saga, visits her mother's grave for quiet peace, reflecting on sacrifices along the path to this end. This act marks healing, embracing legacy of violence and love.